Hi everyone, this is Prashant from Globalizers, and I am here to help you to understand what an I-20 is all about. Yes, so I know these are the times where you have applied to various United States universities. Some of you have got the admission and some are still waiting for the admissions, and some are even still in the process of applying. Even they would get the admissions, in coming months, and they would also require an I-20. So I want to tell you what this I-20 is all about, and second, how do you get the I-20? And the reason that I'm making this video, because getting an I-20 can be super confusing and sometimes very tedious and sometimes very annoying for the students and parents because of the logistics involved in it. So what is an I-20? I-20 is an official document issued by any US university which enables you to appear for the visa. Remember, so it's an official document, and what are the two most important things would be on that I-20? There would be a service number, which is everything for you, and second, that I-20 would have an estimated annual expense that they have calculated. This may not be the real expense. Maybe you might be spending slightly lesser or significantly lesser than what has been mentioned, right? But it would have an expected annual tuition and annual living expenses, right? So this is what an I-20 would contain, and you would utilize that I-20 to appear for the visa. You need a hard copy as far as I-20 is concerned. So the university are going to ship you that I-20, and the moment you have the hard copy, you can process for the visa, right? Now, you know what is an I-20 at this point of time. How do you get the I-20 is another question altogether, right? So you've got the congratulations letter, right? And now you know that I have to talk to the university regarding the I-20. And that's what I told you, that the I-20 has that annual estimated annual expense. You got to show to that university that you have that much funds available with you, right? Now, available funds means what? You need to prove it. So there has to be some proof of funds which has to be sent to the university in a document, right? And they approve those proof of funds, and then the moment they are convinced, they will issue you the I-20. So what is the most important thing for you to understand? What are acceptable proof of funds? And that's where this video becomes extremely important. So proof of funds, there are certain acceptable criteria that you need to adhere to, and there are a lot of misconceptions when it comes to proof of funds, right? So number one, proof of funds commonsensically would be the available saving balance in your parents' account, mother or father. So if let's say there is a university which is XYZ university, their annual estimated annual expense written on the I-20 is $45,000, right? Okay. So you will talk to your father or mother, and you'll say that I need to show $45,000, right, to the university. Do you have that? So one answer that you will get is, we have that amount of balance available in 1, 2, 3 saving banks account or one account. So you need to take a balance certificate, saving bank balance certificate. Okay, the bank issues that certificate. No bank statement, right? It's just this balance certificate that this fellow has saving balance account with us, and on the letterhead it is written that he has the ending balance as $50,000 or $45,000, right? So the moment you have that balance certificate, you send it to the university, acceptable, done, right? Let's say if they do not have the saving balance equivalent or more than what I-20 states, then maybe they have the fixed deposits, right? So if they have fixed deposits, okay, then they have to showcase a balance certificate of those fixed deposits, written very clearly that these FDs can be withdrawn at any point of time. So this much of balance is immediately withdrawable, because FDs have their maturity, dates and everything. So you can't just say that FD has this much of balance and that's all. No, you have to write, if it's fixed deposit, then it should be written that it's immediately withdrawable, $45,000. That's also acceptable. No other proof of funds from family resources would be acceptable, like mutual funds, like stock market. Maybe some universities would do it, some won't, and you don't want to spend your energy on that, right? So these two sources are acceptable to almost every single university, right? Do not go for a co-solvency certificate where properties and car and everything, you know, becomes a part of the statement, and that is more than $45,000, and no, so that's not going to work, guys. Just stick to bank balance certificates and fixed deposits. Now, in India, usually, or maybe in Indian subcontinent, nobody keeps this $45,000 equal, let's say for 35 lakh rupees or 40 lakh rupees, on daily basis in their saving bank account. So I have seen various ways how parents do. So number one, let's say if parents have businesses, so they move the money kept in the current account, right, and they move it for a day into their saving banks, and then redisburse it to the same account. Maybe sometimes they ask their friends and families or grandparents, right, and try to accumulate that amount of source for a day in that particular saving account, and then the moment the balance is there, they get the balance certificate, right? Or maybe sometimes they go to their CA and they said, okay, CA can have some, fund management. He said, okay, I'll get this much of amount transferred, right, to your saving banks for a day. So we just need a 1 day balance certificate also. That will also work. So most of the parents, right, either if they have a maintained balance, that's fine. Sometimes parents do manage a 1 day balance certificate where they have, gathered that much amount of money from various resources, and the balance is reached and you have taken the balance certificate, right? So this is all about when it comes to how parents can show the bank balance certificate. And keeping all this, sometimes even grandparents are also fine to showcase this much of funds, but do not bring in any other relative, any distant relative, because visa officer wants to know who is your sponsor, and that is written on the I-20 that who has shown those proof of funds, right? If parents have shown the funds, the I-20 would write family or parents, right? If it's uncle, let's say uncle in US has helped you showcase that much of a sponsor certificate, then the I-20 would write that family or uncle in United States. So those are the things that you don't want visa officer to know, because visa officer wants to see strong financial ties, right? Okay, and that's where keep your parents as ideal sponsors. They are the ideal sponsors, or maybe grandparents at max, right? Now let's say nothing works out, no FDs, no maintained bank saving balance, you have no friends, family there to help or ready to help, so this option is gone. Now what? So the other way is to have a loan sanction letter, right? Okay, now loan sanction letter can help you get the I-20 as good as your saving balance certificate. How do you do that? That's very, very important, right? So now if you want to have a loan sanction letter, you need to know all those institutions which will be able to give you loan sanction letter before getting an I-20 or to get the I-20, because most of the banks, especially the nationalized banks, SBI, Canara Bank or Bank of Baroda, they may not issue you the loan sanction letter, right, because they want that I-20 to process the loan. So it's a chicken and egg problem. So probably you should not be wasting your time, SBI, on those banks, because they would not issue you a loan sanction letter unless they see the I-20, right? So irrespective of the fact that later on you want to take the loans from SBI or Bank of Baroda eventually, that's a secondary thing, but at least for the getting I-20, no, they may not be of help, right? Okay, you can still consult them. Second, so there is a list of financial institutions which will give you a loan sanction letter, and that letter is good enough to get you the I-20. What are those institutions, right? So you have to meet these institutions either with collateral or collateral free, right? Collateral free has certain limit, and with collateral it depends on the evaluation of your property. So in either of the cases, either collateral free or with collateral, right, try going to HDFC Credila, try going to Avance, try going to Axis Bank, and try approaching ICICI Bank, right? These are the 4 banking and non-banking institutions, right? They are ready to give you a loan sanction letter just based on the admit letter or the congratulation letter that you have already received, right? They're aggressive, and that's why they're doing it, and it's perfectly fine. These are completely acceptable. They know that they're doing it to help the student to get the I-20, right? So you might have to pay processing fee to get that letter, and that letter really means that whatever amount is written is already, and in reality it is sanctioned to you, and you can utilize that amount later on to fund your master's degree also, right? Okay, so I try to tell you again that you can try HDFC Credila, Avance, ICICI Bank and Axis Bank, and go with your admission letter and GRE and whatever documents, and then they can tell you whether they can give you with collateral or without collateral. That you have to discuss with them, right? And apart from these banking and non-banking institutions, there are wonderful 2 solutions that you should explore. One is Prodigy Finance, which is a fintech company, and the second is Empower Financing, which is also a fintech company. So these 2 fintech companies, right, recently have helped a lot of kids in getting the I-20s, and they are absolutely collateral free. The earlier banking and non-banking institutions that I told you, they might give you with collateral or they may give you without collateral also, but these 2 are absolutely collateral free. Now the condition is that they don't give education loans for all the universities. So you have to go to the Prodigy Finance website, you have to go to Empower Financing website and see and put which university name and what all you require, and see the eligibility, and if they give you a loan sanction letter or they approve the loans, then that loan sanction letter is perfectly acceptable to the university, right? So you must try Prodigy Finance and Empower Finance and see what loan and what amount they are ready to fund you for your education, right? Sometimes the students have a Prodigy or Empower loan sanction certificate, and they also have maybe HDFC or any other bank loan certificate, and you can send both of them also, if one loan sanction letter was not equivalent to the amount which was required, right? So that's how you actually work around when it comes to getting your I-20. Okay, I recap things. Have a saving balance certificate, maybe if maintained, if not then get 1 day balance, have the money gathered from various resources. Second, if it's FD must mention that it is equivalent to this much of amount mentioned in the I-20, and it is immediately withdrawable, right? If these 2 things are not possible, then go to these banking and non-banking financial institutions, specifically HDFC, Avance, ICICI and Axis, and try seeing that whether you will get collateral or collateral free, right? The first condition, and second, how much amount they are ready to give you, and the moment you have the loan sanction letter, you can send it to the university. And equally important, must explore Prodigy Finance and Empower Financing. So I hope this video was of some help. More than 500 students of Globalizers have applied, and a lot of them have got great admits. We are helping them for their next processing, which is applications and visas, right? Which is getting this I-20 and the entire documentation. So if you need any help for the visas also, do come to Globalizers, see what we have to offer you, and our visa success ratios for United States have been close to 98-99%, right? And that's why we have mastered it over the past 10, 12, 13 years, still trying to understand what visa officers are actually looking forward to when it comes to giving you the visa. So I hope now you are cognizant of the fact that what an I-20 means, right, and how to get the I-20. I wish all the best to all of you for your visas and journey ahead in the United States. Thank you so much. All the best. Bye-bye.